What's up, guys? Sam Adams here, and happy New Year's Eve. I cannot believe that 2014 is finally coming to a close, but what better way to look forward to 2015 than to look back on 2014 and look at some of the biggest gaming failures that we saw in the past year. I've made a list of 5 of the games that I think deserve a good smack in the face, the ones that really got my blood boiling, and these aren't going to be in any specific order, unlike my best of 2014 video, which you can click on in one of the corners around my face. They were all assigned specific awards, and these are all just generally terrible and don't even deserve the time or brain power to be assigned an award. So without further ado, I've got 5 games that I think were just the cream of the crop of the crop of the crap. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. First off, one that I was actually looking forward to because I'm a fan of this franchise, and that is Rambo the video game. If you're saying, wow, there was a Rambo video game, then you are in the majority of the population. What this game turned out to be, instead of a potentially, if they had gone a Shadow of Mordor route and made it like an open world Rambo game where you're in Vietnam and you have to go and assassinate certain leaders and stuff, that would have been absolutely amazing and potentially one of the games of the year, just because Rambo is such a open and available, so much creativity in the franchise. However, they decided to go with an on-the-rails shooter. Something that we haven't seen since an arcade, and if you do see it, it's normally on iOS. If you know the Rage iOS port that came out a few years back, it's exactly that, except on PC. All in all, it was a terrible game, and a complete disappointment to Rambo fans like myself. I was just really taken aback by how terrible it was, and hopefully one of these years we'll actually see a decent Rambo game come out, because like I said, there's a lot of potential with it just because of the amount of violence and destruction and explosions, and if they went a certain route with it, like a Borderlands mixed with a Red Faction guerrilla kind of thing, if you get what I'm saying, that would be an amazing game, and I would highly recommend picking that up. However, that didn't come out this year. Instead, we got Rambo the video game. Next up, Driveclub. It came out on the PlayStation 4, and whenever I say came out, I use that term very loosely. It was released on the PlayStation 4, faced enormous networking issues to the point where they actually could not release the PlayStation Plus version of the game, and if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that this was probably my biggest disappointment of 2014. I was really looking forward to Driveclub because it was going to be a PlayStation 4 release title back whenever it came out in 2013. However, that didn't happen. It got delayed, which was understandable. If you're going to release a game, release it in its fullest and most ready state. However, Driveclub never reached that state. We still haven't seen the PlayStation Plus edition, and all in all, the game is just kind of sitting there, and it's normally on sale for $40. You can probably find it cheaper online, and I really don't think it's going to amount to anything, and that's one of the reasons that I bought an Xbox One, so that I could have a decent racing game, which Forza 5 does supply me. But Driveclub does have some interesting weather dynamics and a lot of interesting cars, and if the networking did work properly and had worked properly at launch, it could have been a huge competitor for the Forza series. However, that didn't happen, and we ended up getting the crappy version of Driveclub we have today. Next up, we've got Dynasty the video game, and you probably are aware this one came out just because people were laughing at it on Game Informer and other various gaming websites. But if you're not familiar with Duck Dynasty, you follow the family of the Robertsons in the video game, specifically the youngest Robertson trying to become a member of the family by completing various tasks and assignments, and it looks atrocious. It's vomit-inducing, actually, how terrible this game looks. And it came out on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, all of the last generation consoles, and for some reason the 3DS, which I will flash up a picture of the box art right here. How hilarious is that box art? But this game, it should never have happened. Duck Dynasty is a dying TV show, and it mainly bases its popularity on its highly moralistic values, if that's a term. They put a lot of emphasis on their Christian faith, which is what gives them the spotlight most of the time, which is fine, to each his own. But whenever it comes to a video game, let's leave it to the professionals over here. We'll have our own games, and Duck Dynasty should never have been a thing. Now we come to Watch Dogs, one of the most anticipated games that I have ever seen. For years it was talked about that Ubisoft was developing this game where the environment was one of the main weapons and Aiden Pierce was going to access it using his cell phone. It sounded really cool and it had a lot of potential. However, it just couldn't live up to it. The fact that the PC port was downgraded drastically in the graphics department and made it angry or upsetting for the PC players, and then the fact that the gameplay wasn't as innovative and intriguing and engrossing as it had first been anticipated for the console players made this an all-around disappointing kind of bland. It's like if you're expecting to have salsa and you end up getting a big bowl of oatmeal. No one likes dipping their chips in oatmeal. And that was the equivalent of what Watch Dogs was. It is okay if you'd like to pick it up. You can probably find it for a pretty decent price online somewhere, but all in all, I'd probably recommend giving this one a pass, and if you're interested in the driving side of it, you can just pick up The Crew. Finally, we come to the biggest disappointment of 2014 and probably the most costly. This one again by Ubisoft, and it is Assassin's Creed Unity. You probably guessed that one. But Assassin's Creed is one of those series where you expect it to at least be decent. In my opinion, Revelations was probably the sketchiest, or it had the least amount of good footing until Assassin's Creed Unity came along and blew that out of the water. Characters were missing faces, frame rates that were around 17 at some points due to the large crowds in the game. The gameplay was just the story was okay. It takes place in a very strange time period. The French Revolution probably wasn't the first place I would have picked if I was developing the game, but hey, whatever, that's why I'm not a video game writer. All in all, this game was received very poorly, and it should be completely ignored. They ended up throwing the season pass out of the window and giving some DLC away for free to try and redeem the name of Assassin's Creed, but hopefully this is going to make Ubisoft realize that they need to focus more on quality of games as opposed to quantity of games, because they came out with a lot of stuff this year and Assassin's Creed probably suffered the worst, which is sad because I would have bought this game if it had been good. I generally play the Assassin's Creed series no matter how the reviews are, just because I am a big fan of the Assassin's Creed series and have been since the first one with Altair. It's a very engaging series. I would recommend picking up 2 if you've never played the Assassin's Creed games, but Unity is one that I would recommend passing up. Even 3, which I didn't think was that great, I still played through, and it beat Unity by far. I've actually played Unity for a couple of minutes at one of my friend's house, and it is absolutely terrible. I would avoid it completely, which is why it is my #1 worst game of 2014. So there you guys have it. As we're looking forward to 2015, I always like to take a look back at the terrible games of 2014. Again, if you didn't see it on Monday, please click on the link or the thumbnail up here, and it'll take you to my best of 2014's video. But I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video, and I especially want to thank those that have been subscribing lately. I've seen a huge influx to my channel, and I want you guys to keep sharing these videos, keep liking them up if you enjoy what you see at least. And if you're new to the channel, you can head over to my main page, check out some more of my content. I work really hard to make the high quality content, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I do love it when you check it out. So I hope you guys have an amazing New Year's Eve and an amazing New Year's Day, and you'll probably hear from me within the next couple of days. I'll be playing the Master Chief Collection. Well, actually, I'll be playing the Halo 5 beta, which is basically why I bought the Master Chief Collection, but anyway, that's beside the point. I'll talk to you guys soon, and peace.